Katheryn, I miss you. I don't think I have much of a life. I don't think I have much of a life without your grace. Grace. Without your subtle, nudge in life. I don't have much of a life. And I think that you have a lot of my personality. Actually, I think I was Celeste, at the age of 18, was introduced to DMT, and I was introduced in Gallatin, which I coincidentally happen to be residing in at this moment. And so at Gallatin, in Gallatin, I happened upon a fair lady who revolved around me, who involved me with her humble dwelling, beautiful dwelling in Gallatin, and met her by chance through friends. And I also, and as well, on a night of the use of DXM, dextromethorphan, I took a fairly large dose and went into the dissociative high, I suppose, that comes with dextromethorphan and robotripping with my friend David Bennett and with my friend Gene Crawford, or Alfred Crawford. Anyways, we did that at Elizabeth's house. Elizabeth was the one who let us stay at her abode, and also, and she's a nice person. Anyways, okay, then from there we go into the dwelling of Miss Katheryn Seleste Mcmullin, and Katheryn is an extremely mystical creature of and very, I would compare her to Zelda. She has a lot of those qualities, and she is very much, even more, like I've said, she's more Zelda than Zelda. She's more Zelda than Zelda. And so I was really swooned, and I was really I was brought into her lair, and it felt familiar to me, and it felt like I've been there before, and it felt like I knew this dwelling. And whenever I went in her dwelling, I walked upstairs to her room, and I think the first time I really saw her, she was in a white bandana, like Tupac style on the head, and very, very, very immersed in her environment. We listened to music, and I think partaked in the herb, and all was very nice, all was very well. Let's see. But anyways, this relationship took hold, and these friendships took place, and we continued our meetings and our visits to Katheryn's residence, Katheryn's residency, and and our relationship was nurtured and grown, and I found myself in very much love with this lady, and so she was blonde hair, she was fair skinned, light skinned, she had green eyes, she was and also very much a stoner, very much a herb smoker, and very much a child with the heart of the 60s, and very much all to my liking, all to my fulfillment of my love for hippie culture. The hippie culture was embodied in this one lady, this one woman for me, and she was very much she was very much the woman of my heart and dream, you know, the bride of my heart, you know, bride of my heart. And so this was all culminating and a natural flowing through time, the fruition of all that I dreamed for, and the encounter that solidified it. And this was after I used a disassociative, and I don't know if that has any correspondence. Alright, so continuing on. Oh yeah, I also remember meeting her and seeing her at the Kroger in Gallatin, and then I thought at her face that it was not so beautiful, and this was before I went to her house. It was before I went to her house, and that opinion utterly and dramatically changed into like she was the most preferred woman I could have imagined, and the embodiment of my love. And so these things, then what, I remember she took me alongside in the Kroger, and me and my friend Steven and my friend Gene were like departing, and I sort of came in aside Katheryn, and I remember she said, we don't need them, you know, or who needs them, you know, and some other things took place, but onward and forward, this relationship got groomed, but I was never wise enough to ask for her hand, and but then we got married in some other world that I can't validify for some reason, but it happened. And what else, you know? This is some of my life that I feel the need to explain. Then I was working at UPS. I actually went to that job for its first the training of the position. I went to that job from Katheryn's house. At Katheryn's house, I went for that position from there, and that was my stepping into a place where I would be experimenting with the extraction of the medicines and the growing of Seleste cubensis, golden teachers and penis envy. And these things would have great effect on me in my life for the high and the absolute intensity and of their experience. And so I want to reestablish my love for Katheryn, and I want to reestablish my love for Katheryn Seleste Mcmullin, and bring her back, because she's the psychedelic doll of my heart, you know. Katheryn, I miss you. I don't think I have much of a life. I don't think I have much of a life without your grace, without your subtle, you know, nudge in life. I don't have much of a life. And I think that you have a lot of my personality. Actually, I think I was Seleste. I remember a lot of anomalous or interesting things about those relations, where I would peer into certain worlds that manifested aspects of this individual I had romantic affections for, but all was given way to tragedy at a certain time whenever Katheryn offered to let me in to her place in Alabama when she had moved. And it was a fulfilling and most desired outcome for me to depart from the bridge in Inglewood and go see my love. And it had good, there were many good intentions, much good intentions behind that move. And I think we wanted to see each other and wanted to be united. And I think we might have been. And yet there was a bitter aspect that came. There was a bitter twist in the story. While I was waiting at the Greyhound station, I departed the Greyhound station, which was potentially a huge mistake. And I went under a bridge to dwell up top under a bridge as I was feeling my oath as a homeless person and being among my established areas as somewhat of an alley cat. And a policeman came and threatened to put me in jail. And at the time I was expecting to see the love of my life, expecting to be reunited, expecting to, for the first time, have time to devote to my miss. And that was threatened by this officer who so rudely, at the time, I said I had a place to go. I was going somewhere. I had an area I was going. the officer said, well, I could just put you in jail. And I was very confronted by something that threatened like all my... Do you get what I'm saying? Then the bus ticket ended up being at that time dropped. I dropped the bus ticket in that confrontation, and that kind of sealed the fate of our visit. I did retrace the bus ticket, and I did get on the bus in time. But what happened was that the fear that it manifests, stole our uniting, and the fear that it manifests, because they called the bus, and I found the ticket to be lost, thinking I had it, and I ran toward where I had previously been, the bridge, and the bus ticket was there. I did find it, but it was too late to reestablish the comfort and the assurance that this trip was going to be unthwarted by the dominator culture, which hinders our rightful place in those heavenly arms. And so the visit felt ungranted to me, and it felt forced. And since that visit, I have never heard from Katheryn again. I've never heard from Seleste again. I've never heard... She has never talked to me. And the visit was a nightmare. In that, I should have asked her for her hand, or I should have greatly... I don't know what happened.